Now we're going to defend against a double leg takedown or a tackle using a timing kick to the head. Your distance has got to be correct. Again, there are defenses against this, but it's a very simple technique if your timing is good. Of course, I'm kicking with the ball of the foot, I'm extending the hip, and I am prepared to continue. The timing is crucial here because, again, there are defenses against this. I need to be able to create distance between us and engage at the correct distance. It looks like this. From here, he comes in from here. Boom! And then, of course, I can continue. And guys, here is a variation with the knee. It's the same body mechanics, the same base leg pivot, and the same knee torque. It will look like this. From here. Again, I can continue. And I'm back. Now we're also going to learn another defense against a tackle or a takedown using what we call a boxing defense and a body defense. What I'm simply doing is moving off the line of attack, as we've seen with so many other defenses, and counterattacking at the same time. It involves a slight taisabaki. You'll see it with my right leg in this case. Ronaldo comes in from here. Slowly. Looks like this from here. Boom, boom. He continues to come. A knee to the head. From here. Again, I've got the neck. I can torque it. I can come in for a choke, for a guillotine. And there are many things I can do from here. I can knee to the head. Whatever you choose to do is from you. Of course, I must protect my groin from his other hand coming up, but I'm not so concerned because his weight is on it, and I've hit him several times as well. Think preemption. If he's coming in to grab from here, boom. And then I would continue my counterattack. Or it could look like this side from this side, from here. Boom, bah. You want a minimum of 3 or more punches, a knee to the head. The key is that I've moved my right leg offline where he intended to grab it. Now we're also going to look at the defense against a one-legged takedown. There are many people who are very good at it. Again, I would try not to get my leg caught, but if I did get it caught, there's a way that I can use Krav Maga thinking, which of course is attacking the vulnerable tissue while maintaining a good base so he can't take me down. It would look like this. Dave comes in from here, gets the leg from here, in. Now my right finger is in his eye. Okay? There are many other things that I can do from here. I can push away from here. I can deliver a knee to the head. I can do elbows or anything else. Or I could also work the neck from here and torque him, and I could also deliver a devastating knee to the head from there. But again, the key is, Dave, try to take my leg, go ahead from here, is maintaining posture here, raking the face. I also have to watch out that I don't get hit in the groin, but his other hand is on the ground. He got the leg, I would simply base out. Okay, he can continue to get the leg, but it's going to be very hard when I embed my fingers, as you can see, into his eyes. Or from here, I can push out from here. I can settle down on him. Dave, try to take my neck. From here, you see what I'm doing with the neck. Okay? I can do a lot of damage from here. But again, my weight needs to be forward. Also, one other thing that I can do if I've got good bases from here, I can knee him right in the head. You see the dangers of somebody taking you down if you know what you're doing. From here, you see what I've got with the head, and I've got the knees. I'm doing this very, very carefully because of the damage I can do to his neck. Here's the breaks. From here, the shot itself, I can rake the eyes. I can control the chin. From here, I can also choke. Okay? You have to be careful, though, that your groin is exposed. That's why combatives are the preference. Because, again, in that position, we would attack the groin. He can do the same to you. My hand is back. The brace is here. I can rake the eyes. I can torque the neck. I can give knees to the head. Again, from here, boom. He's pretty much at my mercy. The key is I do not want him to get to my legs. The clavicle, again, this hand is a brace so that he cannot come and try to get me. My legs are out. Of course, I've got knees to the head. I can manipulate the face. I can choke. There are many options I can do as we covered. Another variation is this. He comes in. I've got to choke from here. Okay? I've got heel kicks. I've got everything that we would do. But again, the peril is that somebody could come up and kick me in the head. So it's up to you what to do. Okay, I'm going to roll to you so you can see the choke. There's the professional choke. Again, I can work the eyes, bring the head back. If I miss this choke, I can exert a face bar, which is simply coming across from here. I'm going to let go for Don's sake, but I'm tight, squeezing as tight as I can, extending the body back. It will do tremendous damage to the cervical spine. The advantage of this is I get into a superior position of counterattack, but I have to make a conscious decision that I might have to go to ground. If I go to ground, there are perils there. Somebody could come up and kick me in the head. There could be detritus, glass, whatever it may be. So again, the first variation with the brace allowed me to deliver devastating knees. I can torque the neck, I can rake the eyes, and then I can get up. Now I'm going to introduce you to a couple more of our takedowns. You'll notice that this is out of a basic scenario where somebody could come throw a haymaker at you or a hook punch. We call it the outside reverse sweep or osotogari. Dave comes in, he attacks from here, from here. I can stomp on his head, I can stomp on any part of him that I choose. Okay, very slowly, it looks like this. He comes in from here, boom. I'm securing him from here with a shot. In this case, I'm not delivering a knee because I want to take him backwards. I'm going to come through. I'm going to tense my right leg through from here and finish. It's a very, very simple takedown. I can do it against one leg, or I can do it against two legs. From here, from here. The idea, I do want to take it easy on Dave, is I'm coming through from here, boom, sweeping the leg up and hard. You got to tighten that leg up. Dave comes in from a bear hug, like this. I come down. That is simply, in slow motion, this. Face the camera. Here we go. He grabs from here. Notice my leg is wrapping. I'm taking the double rule of thumb in the direction of my toes. From here, boom. Again, I step over the target, not onto the target. He can counterattack. Here. Now notice something. As I took Dave down, I did not step on top of him because he can kick me in the groin. Eyes! We're going to cover a powerful combative, a brutal combative called a clothesline or an arimi, which is targeting the windpipe or the throat. So it can be done out of different combatives, but the idea is from here, Chris is just going to stand from here, and I'm simply going to step through. I will not hit him. Essentially what's happening, of course, is that I'm using my forearm here, boom, right into the throat. And I can also follow up on a more advanced level by stepping through for a takedown. You will obviously knock the guy down, but if you step through, it increases the efficiency of the combative. So it would look like this. From here, let's say that Chris gives me a hook punch from here, boom, I decide to go with a arimi here, boom, and finish. A bucket scoop takedown. This is a highly effective combative. It can be used at an advanced level against an opponent with a rifle or submachine gun or even a pistol. Here's what it'll look like. Okay, I'm going to work with George here. I'm going to do it at several angles. I'm able to get to his back. I've secured his inside arm. I'm reaching through to the testicles. I will load the hips properly, and I will then proceed to dump him, hence the name bucket dump from here. From here, up, and of course, I can drop him. Okay, we'll do it from this angle. Again, I've been able to get George from here, coming through to the groin from here, load the hips, up. And you can see George's head will be pile drived in the concrete. There is one more variation of this, which is a slam, where I could use my own body weight and George's body weight to severely hurt him on the concrete. I will not slam him, but I'll show you the idea. From here, grabbing through to the groin, loading the hips, up. And I would drop my body with him. That would be a slam. From here, 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 sinking the hips in. We're going to deal with a double leg takedown. This is the offensive movement that we had covered earlier to defend. Okay? The double leg takedown can be used from a feint. In other words, you're feinting. Or it could be used against an opponent that's throwing a punch which you identify early. Okay? Again, by understanding how we take somebody down, our methodology works very simply. We understand how to defend it that much better. Okay? Is this applicable to street work? It could be very well if somebody was swinging a chain or you had to get underneath a larger person, you felt that you had to take them to the ground. But remember, you're going to end up on the ground. And you need to end up in a high mount, which we'll cover in the ground section. I decided I've got to take this guy down. I can do a one-leg or two-legged takedown. It's going to look like this. And break the arm. Slowly. This is a variation. This is a two-legger. From here, in, coming down, rising up. Boom. I will not stay in between his legs. I can drop a knee into his groin. Here's a variation of a double leg takedown where I'm going to come with a feint. I'm going to use two arms to secure them, and I'm going to go high mount. Okay? So from here, I'm feinting here, coming in, two legs, driving my shoulder through, pulling my neck. From here, up, up. Here, if I can control the arms, I can finish this. I can drop various combatives. Okay? From here, I can also put thumb to the eye. From here, arm bar. From here, I've come high, I'm trapping, I'm attacking, I can drop a leg. From here, you have an arm bar, which is this. Here, I'm going to review the same technique, but it's going to involve timing against Dave's punch. Okay? So he will throw a left punch or a right punch. It does not matter. I will use a body defense and come down from here. Up. From here. Again, tight. My timing has got to be better than his timing. You can see it. Fighting, can't reemphasize this enough, is recognition, but every bit of recognition is timing. They go hand in hand. That would cover one of our more powerful takedowns, which is the Cavalier, Cavalier number 1. You can use this takedown in a number of defensive movements. It depends on if you can catch the wrist or however you find yourself positioned. Keep in mind also that we use this against an edge weapon takedown. It's very powerful. As with all of our takedowns, I'm going to use taisabaki. And taisabaki is simply using my hips in 180 rotation to take down the attacker. All of my core strength and ancillary strength will be focused on his wrist. Again, I want to focus on a small joint with all of my power to take him down. It would look like this. And I can stop on the head of this movement. The kick, we use it for both civilian, law enforcement, and military purposes. Civilian, it's a takedown. You've got tremendous heel kicks. For law enforcement, we'll turn them to cuff them, and for military, they'll finish the job as necessary. Okay? So it comes out of this movement. Dave punches, boom, over the top. From here, I secure, tight to the body. You'll notice that my knuckles are the knuckles, and I am below his wrist. I'm putting it into my core, especially if there's a weapon attached. Again, tight. To take him down, I'm going to do taisabaki, and taisabaki is this. With my left leg, I'm going to turn 180 degrees from here. And of course, I can continue with combatives. The movement without Dave is from here, again, turning, taisabaki to the camera. Cavalier, turning. Now, the Cavalier subtlety is this. Again, some people are flexible going back, some people are flexible going over. We're going to work against both of these. By having the wrist tight, I'm pushing back, 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 and into the shoulder. Okay? The pinky is into the shoulder, and it makes a very, very powerful takedown. A variation of it could be this. If I'm just standing like this, okay, and I had to use one hand, it's just this. I can also do this from a standing position. Dave is just standing at his side. For whatever reason, I need to get him to the ground. I'm simply approaching. I'm going to control above the wrist, not on the wrist to work against myself. Knuckles to knuckles, elbows are in. I do taisabaki with my left. He will go down. For law enforcement security personnel who need to take a suspect down for restraints, there's one variation. Very slowly, coming in here, down, yanking up, so that my momentum continues. From here, over, right into our cuffing position. The technical details again. I'm going what I call knuckle to knuckle. I'm punching in and over. My elbows are very tight to my body. I do not want the arm floating outside, particularly if there were an edge weapon here. I could finish the job for him if I inadvertently bring it across my face. So we learn at the basic level to apply it to the advanced level. Same thing. From here again, definitely down like this. Fall breaks are important. They can happen in a combat situation. They could happen if you trip over the back of a curb. They could happen if you trip on ice. And in my case, I was thrown off a bicycle once, and I used a fall break, and it put me in good stead. Many of you probably had similar experiences. I was also used a roll when I was hit by a bicycle. So Krav Maga serves a purpose other than fighting, is my point. In Krav Maga, we need to be very capable on the ground. We need to think of ourselves as a complete system, from any kind of weapon threat to groundwork. The difference, of course, is that we have a street orientation. The military, obviously, it's a combat orientation, and then we prefer not to be on the ground for numerous reasons, including hazards on the ground, broken glass, concrete, but most importantly, if you're outnumbered, it's a difficult position to be in. We want to get to our feet as soon as possible. However, the groundwork is a formidable part of our arsenal. We do practice it. I'm looking forward to showing you that in the next segment, and here is how it might start. Okay? I, for whatever reason, fell down. We'll deal with the fall breaks right now, and then I'll show you this takedown. Okay? The fall breaks are very simple. I want to create as much surface area as I can using my back, my buttocks, and my forearms against the ground so that I don't take impact on my elbows or my head. In other words, I'm using physics to disperse the impact. Okay? I'll do it actually without a mat from here. You just hear. You'll hear a big slap, but I'm going to be fine. I'm just going to change the audio over. And here we go. Okay? On the side. Okay? What I'm doing, I'm hitting the ground. My head is tucked always. I'm coming out like this, slapping. One foot is up, one foot is down. This allows me to counterattack against somebody coming in. And it also allows me to raise my coccyx off the ground, my tailbone, so that it doesn't shatter on impact. Okay? The way we learn this is simple. We start from a ground position, just like this. We tuck our chin. We bring our hands over. Okay? And I'm just simply going to slap out to begin with. This is step one. 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 Two, I'm going to raise my right leg. Okay? Preferably, I'm going to raise my heel off the ground as well. And that will, again, take my coccyx off the ground. So it looks like this. Okay? And then, of course, we do it from varying heights. Again, you must keep sure that your neck is bulled and your head is not impacting the ground from here. And I'm ready to go. Okay? One more time from standing. Here we go. From here. Okay, notice I've got clearance with my heel. I'm able to kick. I'm able to kick. I'm able to move. Now we're going to examine the side fall break. This is if you're taken down on your side. As with the rear fall break, I'm going to create the maximum surface area making impact with the ground so that no one point of my body taking the full impact. And of course, I'm going to tuck my chin and be prepared if somebody were coming to attack me from there. Looks like this. From here. And I'm able to move. Okay? Hands are up. Now, we're going to deal with our forward fall breaks. The forward fall break is if you were put on your face, you tripped. Here is the front fall break. From here, the key is to turn my head to the side so I don't make impact with my face. Okay? And it's very similar to a push-up, but it's in reverse. Okay? And I'm going to spread my legs out from here. Okay? From here, just like this. Okay. And from here, I'll turn this way. Notice my head is to the side. I'm not looking down. Okay? That is a soft fall break. A hard fall break is where I use my forearms, okay, to make impact, not my elbows, my forearms, with the ground, and again, turning my head to the side. Here's the forward fall break. Here. Okay? From here. And from the front. Now we're going to deal with another takedown, which is a scissors takedown. Again, this is from a ground position where I'm down, and I need to get my opponent down. Okay? In a multiple opponent situation, this could work, but you need to get your feet immediately. You always got to get your feet immediately. Here's what this would look like. We're in a fighting position. He's moving in. Okay? I see that I can take him from here, and here's the takedown. From here. And the takedown. I can attack from here, of course, too. Creating an obstacle and an impediment, sweeping down, moving with him immediately as he falls down into a choke or combatives. I can also catch the leg, which is a variation. I did not want to do it fast to save Dave's leg, like this. From here, boom. I keep the leg intertwined. From here, I roll up, and I can create the choke, and I can also put tremendous pressure on the knee. He'll tap. That's just the pressure on the knee. Where I could come in from here and take Dave down, I'm simply scissoring my leg. Of course, I have to watch the opportunity to do this. Maybe he's moving this way and I catch him from here, from here. And of course, I caught the knee and I can continue to come up, keeping that leg tight from here and work the body. I can do a lot of damage here to the knee, or I can simply come up from here. Here is an alternate takedown. I find myself on the ground again. You have the kicks. I'm just going to vary this by putting my left foot, hooking it behind Dave's Achilles, and I'm going to create a very, very tough takedown, perhaps even destroying the knee. From here, boom, and he will go down. I will then follow him, or I will get up, okay? And I decide if he's a threat still, I can come in from here. I can attack from here, take the eyes, and choke, whatever you want to do. That's your option. Or if there are multiple opponents, you have to deal with that situation. Boom, up. The groin maybe, like this, as I'm getting up from here. Up. We're going to cover the integration of our standing work along with our chokes, and then into some groundwork, including a takedown, to show you sort of the idea of Retsef. Again, I may not want to take him to the ground. It may not be a good idea. He could have other friends out there that could be multiple opponents, which I could get my head kicked in. But just to illustrate the point, we're going to go through a series here. Mike is going to give me a right punch. I'm going to defend it using a technique which we covered in the earlier volume. Right punch here. For choking, the idea is to put enough compression with your hands and your arms against the opponent's carotid sheath or his windpipe to put him out. From here, in, tight, squeeze. Okay? Now, that particular technique can also be taken to the ground using the osotogari or the sweep. I'm going to do it very, very gently because, again, the ground is hard, but you can use your imagination to see how you can take somebody down very, very quickly. This will show you the Retsef, or the continuous flow, or the seamless transition between standing to groundwork. Okay? So here we go again. I'm going to do it slowly. Mike is going to come in and punch. Boom. I've hit him. I'm coming through, starting to exert pressure. I'm going to step through, sweep, down. Okay? I'm going to cinch the choke by moving, and he'll go. You can see that all my body weight is landing on the opponent as well. He's already taken a shot to the face. Perhaps he takes a knee. I'm stepping through, and that's the way that choke could be used. I could also use knee combatives when we cover the technique shortly. Now we're going to cover two of our preferred control holds. These are police restraint control holds. They can be for civilians, and they can also have military applications. But we'll do it out of a defense. Okay? So again, what you'll see is a hook. You'll see my defense by blocking and attacking. Again, simultaneous defense and attack, and stepping offline. The key, guys, turn Dave's position again, is that, again, I reduce his level so I'm able to come over the top, grabbing the arm, breaking the integrity of the elbow there to force him down. Okay? Another angle again. From here, we'll do it slowly. Again, coming over the top, sliding right over the top, in, tight, and down. The more I torque forward, as you can see, the more leverage I'll be able to exert. Now notice, I'm pinned against Dave's body, and his level is below my level. In other words, I force his shoulder down. Usually that would take a knee to the groin. If I do not collapse his level, okay, and he's able to rise up a little bit, we're now in a fight, and I must use strength. We don't use strength as helpful, of course, but the idea is technique. Of course, I've stunned him with a shot to the head, too. We'll do it from this angle now. Okay, he attacks from here. From here, knee. Brings his level down, sliding right in, tight to the body. I can also reverse the grip, and I take him right down on his face. I'm coming above the wrist. I may clip him with a kick to the shin. I may knee him. The key is to get his level down just a bit. I'm coming over the top here, coming in, breaking the elbow from here, tight, and then down into a control hold. From here, I'm going to do this gently. He's going to go down, 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 and I'm in. And then I can do what I've got to do. Okay, other hand. Other hand. And then you've got to do whatever's appropriate from there. Okay, again, that's helpful for civilians if you need to control somebody, law enforcement, obvious cuffing, restraint. Okay, David's going to come with a straight right punch. I'll also do a defending technique by stepping off line, counter punching, and right into a control hold. Okay, opposite angle. Dave throws a punch. I'm stepping off line, a counter punch. His other hand is exposed, as you can see. One more time. I'm going to step away. My hand comes up like this. I'm simply grabbing above the wrist to the hand, flat of the hand, folding it in. Of course, I have a strike here. Taisabakiing down. Pressure can be on the midsection or the head. Okay, we'll do another angle. Slowly. Again, collapsing the arm in, tight to the pecs, pressure on the shoulder and the wrist, Taisabaki down. Okay? It's very important if you do this control procedure that you watch out he doesn't kick you in the head with his free leg, in this case the right leg. So we'll do it very slowly again. From here, Mike gives me a punch, off the line, counterattack. From here, again he would get jolted back, coming in, breaking the integrity of the elbow, pinning it to my chest, very tight, grabbing my own arm, Taisabaki left. From here now, you'll notice that my left knee is on his head and my right knee is on his hip. We will show you from another angle. Mike tries to kick me, kick. You see, I'm controlling the hip with my knee. Guys, now my left knee, as you'll notice, is on his head, controlling him, and my right knee, every bit as important, is on his right hip with my weight pressing down. If he tries to kick me with the right, watch what happens. I can control it. If my weight and my knee were in the middle, watch what happens and he kicks. I get kicked in the head. This is important if you're going to control somebody this way. We always advocate taking them to their stomach. From there, down, over, control. Okay, guys, very slowly it looks like this. Mike gives me a right punch, off the line, counterattack. From here, I can give him a knee as well, but in this case, I want to take him back. My hands are parallel. I'm coming in to destroy the integrity of the elbow, coming down, back, and if I so choose, I can keep him rolling. I can dip the knee in, and I'm commanding him, on your belly, from here, and control. Other hand, control. The key to that turn is not to collapse your body with your opponent. You must maintain leverage on that wrist. I'm simply Taisabakiing this way. As soon as he drops and hits the deck, I maintain the pressure, not letting him release the hold, and I'm turning and collapsing him into position. Pressure is from here. I'm simply going to do 180 degrees to my right leg, over, forcing him down into control. Other hand. Boom. Down. Over. We're going to cover Cavalier number 2. It complements Cavalier number 1. It is a very useful control hold. It's also used with our advanced techniques if we had to strip a weapon away. It looks like this. I approach from the side, and I simply control the wrist from here, and I turn. Pressure is on the wrist. I'm putting pressure down from here, and I can control him. Tom, try to slap me in the groin. He cannot. Of course, I can kick out his knee, okay, if I needed to escalate if he weren't giving me the right cooperation. Again, I come in from here, the hand, and I turn, okay? And of course, I could destroy the knee if I think I've got to hurt him. Boom. I'm coming across. This is the Cavalier we talked about from here. Again, after softening him up, I'm going to switch him here, coming down. I'm going to punch it out from here. We're going to cover a hip throw defense. If somebody is in a position to throw you on the concrete, obviously the damage can speak for itself. Ordinarily, we would take the opponent's back. He's giving me his back, but in this case, I need to actually move off his hip so that he doesn't get a clean throw, and I'm moving out of position so he cannot throw me. It looks like this. He goes for the hip throw, I turn to the side. All I've done is get over his hips, okay? I move. You see, now I'm off the hip. And of course, I can come, and I can counterattack, all right? Again, don't get in a position where somebody can throw you. The move is simple. We'll do it one more time. He comes in very slowly. He's moving from here. Here he's got position to throw me. He starts to pick me up, okay? He's starting to pick me up. And it can be done very dynamically. You will not have time to grab the face or to hold on to him. So the objective is this. He comes in from here. As soon as I feel him coming here, I'm scooting the hips, as you can see. Now he's got that hand, but of course I've got this hand. And I can wrench the face, I can rake the eyes, I can do whatever I want to do. I can continue from here. There's lots of stuff I can do. Ronaldo's going to go with me from here. I sweep the leg, and I can finish him, however appropriate. We're going to now focus on clinching. Clinch work is a vital part of what we do. It is devastating to an opponent, and it also obviously can be equally devastating to you if put in a proper clinch. Okay? From a civilian side, again, we're closing the distance. We're using our most durable striking implements, the elbows and the knees. You can, of course, use eye gouges, bites. It goes from there. Oftentimes, the clinch will end up in a ground fight, which we'll cover shortly, but here's the beginnings of the clinch. For military, the clinch is used to close a distance and to use certain applications only suited to the battlefield. Here's what the clinch would look like. Dave and I are from here. We're fighting, perhaps. He throws that right hook again from here. Boom. From here, I give him the knee. I see that his level is down now. I'm ready to a clinch, and then I start to work my knees from here. Okay, we call that a crown of the head clinch. We would not initiate with a clinch. You would be out of a combative, where you're closing a distance. You see the opportunity to deliver devastating knees to the thighs, to the groin, to the midsection, even to the head, okay, as you've seen. The clinch is very simple, okay? I'm bringing him in. I do not clasp my hands from here, like this. I'm bringing him into my chest. I'm going to secure him, and not only am I securing him tight, but I'm also bringing the neck down, okay? There's a pushing sensation going on here, which I can now do devastating knees and elbows, okay? Again, from this angle from here, coming in here, I'm just going to turn them a little bit. Turn them a little bit. Let's see what I can do with my feet. I can turn them to the knee work, okay? And the knee work. And of course, I have hammer fists, I have elbows, I have another knee. Focusing on the crown of the head clinch. Again, this is where I close the distance. My elbows are going to remain in, and I want to show you something again. If I were to put my hands here on the back of my own neck, I can resist. If I put them on the top of my head and push down, I do not have the ability to resist. It looks like this with Don. He's not going to put the pads up. From here, Don, stand tall. Okay, stand tall. He can resist. When I come to the top of the head and the crown, I can control him. So that is a proper clinch. Elbows are in, like this, and I'm controlling the body from here, boom, for my knees. Remember, when clinching up, wherever the opponent's head is led, his body will go. It's very important to understand this. What I'm going to show you is a crown of the head clinch, but I'm also going to show you an exceptional way to deliver a knee, creating ever more power. Okay, it's going to look like this. Here's the crown of the head clinch. Ronaldo Leonard from here. I catch him. Here I can control him, and I've got my knee strikes. I've also got elbows to the back of the head. Again, I can work them here, and I can work them from here, and I can continue to work. Now, the key in delivering the knee strikes is extending the hip long. Obviously, I'm not making contact with Ronaldo. A crown of the head clinch with a snapback is going to look like this. I've got him in position here. I'm going to extend him out, and I'm going to pull him in, boom, creating enormous momentum. We'll do it on this angle. From here, again, I'm inside, I'm pushing him back, boom. You can see that I'm going to create a great deal of momentum and generate tremendous power by pulling him out to create the leverage, and then by yanking him back into me. Now we're going to focus on defending the crown of the head clinch. Again, whatever I can do to somebody or you can do to somebody, your opponent could possibly do it to you. So with that in mind, we need to cover and defend against these devastating knee strikes, and of course we need to use Krav Maga thinking and attack a vulnerable part of the body immediately, probably the rule of thumb or a fish hook, okay? So Dave catches me from here, okay? Here, right inside to the eye. Okay? It's that simple. Again, the gun looks like this. We're not going to clinch up so you can see. He's coming from here, tip of the elbow to the knee. If he gives me left knee, I'm simply moving, boom. Okay? Of course, your timing and accuracy has to be good. A knee to the head will put you down very, very quickly. I wouldn't get caught in the clinch, but if I did, here's what would happen. Again, he's coming down. I come in, okay? Again, he gives me a knee, boom, there's the defense. Give me a knee, here's the defense. Give me a right knee, there's the defense. And again, a whole while, I'm coming into the eye from here, boom, pop! And I continue my retsiv. Boom, right into the eye. Here, okay? And into the eye, and I can continue with Krav Maga. This defense from here, okay, if I were to do this, it may work for some people who are strong, have strong upper bodies, and I understand from the length that it will provide an effective defense, but you need to weigh that against the power of the knee strike. So again, Krav Magas, do what works for you. You can do both, but make sure you counterattack simultaneously. We're going to work on what I call the symmetrical clinch. Okay? We both have the same position, therefore there's no advantage. Okay? Dave and I will lock up from here, okay? And he's got me from here. Now, we could trade knees. He gives me a knee. I give him a knee. Okay, he could give me a knee. I could give him an elbow from here, moves you across, boom. He could give me an elbow reaching across. So you see why we call it a symmetrical position, okay? We want to move out of this very, very quickly, and again, the rule of thumb applies from here. Okay, as soon as he gets me in from here, I'm just going inside, I give him a knee. And it can be done to you. So the minute we clinch up, you have to be aware that somebody can put their thumb in your eye. Okay, your opponent could be watching this film as well. Again, only for defensive purposes. I can deliver some elbows simply by releasing this hand from here, yanking down using my body, boom, to the back of the head, horizontal elbows. I can reach across, pulling them down and yanking them into me, here, into a choke. I can also do a cross grab the face from here, reaching through at the shoulder, taking the face and torquing it backwards. We can also come across, okay, by just by pulling down from here, two hands from here, blocking into the knee to release. They're very, very simple movements. Again, you can see from that position, whatever I can do, he can do. Okay, again, and he's got me from here, whatever it may be. Okay, I'm not being able to get in. What I'm going to do is use my left hand from here, okay, to push across his face and slide inside, and then continue with the knees. It looks like this from this side. Again, I can't move here. He's stumbling from here. Again, I'm going to use this hand from here and push across, inside, across the face, knee to the head, and I can continue and control him. The clinch is about creating space and taking down your opponent methodically, brutally, and efficiently, as with all Krav Maga thinking. We're going to cover a takedown in the event you are held in a clinch and being driven backwards. All right? The idea is you're falling down. Therefore, you're going to harness your momentum and his momentum into a throw and counterattack called tomanagi. It looks like this. We're clinched up like this. He pushes on me from here. I step over like this here. And you'll notice where I am to continue the counterattack. I can drop punches. I can do elbows from here. I can do this. I can from here and break his arm. Okay? Get clinched up. He's pushing from here. He pushes. Boom, boom, back. And I can continue. The face up. Boom. We're going to also now focus on controlling the opponent. If I control his head, especially from the rear, I control him. Again, I can do all sorts of damage to him, but in this case, I'm just showing you control to de-escalate a situation and perhaps to put him in front of a group of other assailants coming at you to create a human shield. Remember, wherever the head goes, the body will go. And this can be used against multiple opponents. Again, I want to disorient him. I can hurt him, but the point is control. So it would look like this. From here. Okay? And I don't necessarily have to take him down. I'll hold him up this time. Okay? From here. Okay? You see my hands are covering his face. Okay? I have to be careful he doesn't bite me, but I can control him. If somebody's coming at me, I can manipulate him any way I want. I can push him forward. I can kick. You can do whatever you've got to do. Again, it's just another form of control. Slowly, it looks like this. Okay? Pad is here. Again, I'm cross-facing him, two hands. Pulling him directly into me, again, covering him. Wherever the head will go, I move the head, his body moves here. I move the head, his body moves here. You see the control you can exhibit. Okay, one more angle from here. We're going to deal with a multiple opponent situation. You do not want to find yourself against these kinds of odds, especially if a weapon is drawn, but ultimately you may not have any choice. The key with fighting multiple opponents is never to be in the middle of them. This is Krav Maga's roots. Emi was always outnumbered in Bratislava. His good friend Ernst Kavari, who I interviewed for my second book, the first chapter, explained how they were always had their backs up against the wall. The odds were never in their favor. So they had to develop good Krav Maga, and this is where economy of motion and good technique come into play. You can only hit somebody so many times before somebody else sets upon you. Therefore, those strikes have to count. They have to be brutally effective. You can also use some of their control holds to put another assailant in front of you to shield you from an incoming attack. Of course, you want to make your escape as soon as you can, and that means running, and it means running fast. Of course, pick anything else you can up, but the idea is this. These guys are now surrounding me from here. This position I do not want to find myself in, because again, I have 4 limbs, they have 12. Okay? We can also include our heads. I can see Chris basically from here, and I can see the guys from here as well. But I don't want to be in this position. Okay? I'm going to pull back, looking for an opening from here. Okay? Whoever attacks me first, provided it's on my flank, I will then defend. Okay, guys, this is what would happen if an assailant were coming straight down the middle. Come. I'm out. Ronaldo cannot, under any circumstances, get in between multiple opponents, in this case 3. Were I to join the fray, it would be 4. It would be 12 limbs if the 3 guys are attacking him against his 4. If I were involved, it would be 16, particularly if I were against Ronaldo's back. All right, so I'm going to move out. What will happen is Ronaldo will react to either one of his flanks, either to Clee or to Rob. If Tom were to attack, he would still attack one of his flanks because he cannot get in the middle. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. This epitomizes Krav Maga thinking. Economy of motion. Everything has got to count. Again, this is not a sport. It's multiple opponents, and they aim to hurt you, and they can hurt you badly. If they get you on the ground and they beat you into submission, it is their choice to whether to let you live. So every movement has got to count. That's why at the basic level, we emphasize the importance of excellent combatives. In other words, no wasted motion, transferring your weight, extending the combative, hitting vulnerable tissue. Everything has got to count. You can see that there's no room for wasted movement. Again, multiple situations. Emi fought against multiple attackers. He realized that every punch had to count. All right, so we're going to go through it very, very slowly. Ronaldo will show you. Again, a flanker will attack slowly. He's keeping them away from him. He keeps moving, he keeps moving, he keeps moving again. Okay? Now stop. Keep in mind that Ronaldo is kicking for the knees, the groin, the eyes. This is meant to take attackers down. Obviously, when you're practicing, we have to be very, very careful. All right? So that is multiple attackers. Again, don't get in the situation. Pick up any weapon of opportunity you can. This is a fight for your life. You must consider it so. Again, anything goes. Guys, here's the danger of multiple opponents getting you on the ground. You are at their mercy. You've got to get up. There are techniques. He is in a -10. Okay, he can get his groin, he can bite, whatever it may be. But they're tying him up, not just kicks, but he can come in here and end him with a kick to the head. Stomping is a preferred method by groups, and you do not want to end up under the ground. I want to get up to my feet as soon as I can. Here's the problem. Again, the more time I spend on the ground, the more people can land on me and pile on me. So again, I find myself on the ground somehow, okay? And we'll have 3 people working on me. George is going to come in again. We're from here. They pile on me from here. Again, I'm in this position here to kick. They get on me from here. Again, I'm moving. Whatever I can get. From here. Boom, boom. Eyes, kick to the head. Up. Boom. Back to the head. Ronaldo's on the ground. He's been taken down. Again, he's got to get up right away. The primary objective is to get up and to escape. Not only is the ground bad against one person, 2, 3, 4, a group mentality to stomp you could find you in a life-threatening situation. So from here, again, Ronaldo is not in the best position. He can get kicked, he can get kicked. If I were in, I could kick him too. So he's going to go. We're going to show you how to get up and out of this thing. Attack. Go. Ronaldo is defending his head. If Rob were to give him a kick to the head, we'll just defend. Again, he's turning. But he has to be careful because Clee and Tom are also delivering kicks against stomps and everything. What he's trying to do is get away from them all. He doesn't want to be in their center line of fire, so he continues to move. He's not a stationary target. He's moving around, he's getting up as soon as possible, and then we deal with multiple opponents.
So what was the situation here?
What you see there is I'm being attacked by multiple opponents. I don't fight three at once, I fight one. I will use them as a shield and then reassess. You saw I used kicks, I used elbows, I used chokes. Everything that we do must be used to get me out of the situation. Abel is confronted with an impact weapon. Krav Maga with an impact weapon always closes. You'll notice he's deflecting it over the top. He's not taking an impact to the arm anywhere. From here, he'll control the weapon, he'll remove it, and use it as necessary. Now he's faced with an edge attacker. He'll use the length of the weapon to disarm, a hit to the head because it's a deadly force situation, and then he'll continue against any other attackers. Again, we always try to control the weapon and turn it against the assailant if possible.
Is it a street fight?
Here's a street fight. You see we're dealing with a crowbar and a broken bottle. Somebody could take it out of a car in a road rage incident, or it could be just something that a hooligan has to attack you with. Okay, it could be a mugging situation gone bad, where he's attacked. It could be two guys working in concert. It could be just any kind of, it could be a pool stick, it could be a stool leg, and a broken bottle is a broken bottle, any bar. You just break a bottle, you have an edge weapon, or an impact weapon for that matter.
So this is a situation that can exist in your everyday life?
It is. We always train against the worst possible odds. In this case, again, Abel's facing two armed attackers. We do two, we do three. Again, the idea is not to fight two people ever at once. You take care of one very, very quickly. Again, Krav Maga is about disabling an opponent and dominating him quickly, completely, and brutally, and then, if necessary, moving on to the next opponent, as you saw. It's based on economy of motion. Abel disarmed Dave, who had the baton or the crowbar, very quickly, and then Chris came running at him. He sidestepped. In other words, he stepped off the line of attack so he didn't get stabbed, simultaneously hitting the attacking arm, probably breaking the arm, and then, if necessary, going to the head to make sure the attacker is no longer a threat. Slowly, Abel is going to deflect the impact weapon as it comes in while counterattacking. Again, you saw that the defense allowed the impact weapon to go over the top, and he punched at the same time. He's now disengaged, okay? A third attacker is now coming. He sidesteps. He attacks the jagged weapon hand, and then he attacks the head to make sure that Chris is no longer a threat. Dave may come back at him, and again, now he's continuing, and that would be the end of the fight.
Is it based on quite a natural way, best way to self-defense?
Everything that we do has to be instinctive. There are a couple of things that may be considered counterintuitive, such as when somebody's pulling you, we actually go with the motion rather than against it. But the idea is to build on instinct, because we know from battlefield experience, street experience, again, we teach military, law enforcement, civilians, that a few moves have to be done very, very well. It's based on gross motor movements, not fine motor movements. In other words, what you would do in times of stress. And we try to do one technique to counter several situations. In other words, if Dave were swinging to the side, okay, Abel would do the same technique. If he does a one-handed swing to the side, you'll see here, okay, turn to the camera, okay, to the side, same technique as he did overhead, okay? If Dave took the weapon back and then he attacked low to Abel's knee, Abel doesn't know what he's going to do, but it's the same technique, okay? And he's done. You'll notice that he did the same thing 3 times in a row because he didn't know what angle he could come from. Okay, without Abel's doing anything, Dave will show you. He can come overhead and attack him in the head. Abel will do nothing. Okay, that's one attack. Second attack, he can try to break his ribs from the side. And third attack, he could try to destroy his knee. We don't know what the attacker is going to do, therefore we need to be prepared for all eventualities. That's why Abel is moving in as he does. Dave, attack any one of them. Go. And that is a defense.
So Krav Maga is only a self-defense?
Yes, Krav Maga was developed strictly for self-defense. We do not use it for offensive purposes. The idea is to defend yourself quickly, efficiently, and brutally, but never to use excessive force. It's very important that people understand we do not brutalize or attack somebody or keep attacking for the sake of hurting them or punishing them. Once the threat is no more, we disengage and we contact the authorities. But again, if attacked with an edge weapon and we had a baton or anything else, again, it's a threat to your life, and therefore we need to treat it accordingly and disable the attacker however we need. And that could include a hit to the head, a kick to the throat, a kick to the groin, destroying the knee, whatever it takes to survive the situation. But once the situation is no longer a threat, we disengage and we go to the authorities. Again, the idea is not to get into conflict, to avoid conflict. Awareness training would dictate that if Dave and Chris were on the side of the street, perhaps drinking, perhaps being rowdy, and Abel were on the other side of the street, stay there. Don't cross the street and put yourself in harm's way. Again, in a carjacking scenario, as we talked about, you don't want to be hemmed in by a car in front, a car in back. You want to be able to escape. But sometimes we deal with a -5, which is a difficult situation where we can do nothing but defend. In other words, we have no choice but to react. And when we react, we try to turn the tables on the attacker immediately. The idea is to dominate him, to go from reactive to proactive, and to take the situation under control. We will counterattack as much as necessary, but again, when the attacker is no longer a threat, in other words, he's been neutralized, he's down, he's no longer presenting a threat, we disengage. We do not continue to pummel or brutalize him. Very important that philosophy be used. Again, it's to be humble, not to prove one's mettle. We don't go looking for trouble. The founder, Emil Lichtenfeld, emphasized all this, and we only teach this to responsible citizens, teach law enforcement and military. This is not meant for criminals or anybody with any kind of criminal intent or hostile intent to society. Firearm. Somebody pulls a weapon on you, okay, firearm, as opposed to a knife or whatever it may be. It's not worth any of your possessions for your life. Give it to him. All right? You give it to him. If you must react, we react with extreme prejudice. In other words, that weapon is designed for him, not me. In other words, that pistol grip gives him leverage and not me. So I need to do the defense properly, efficiently, and brutally. All right? Because again, the weapon's going to go off. With the Marine Corps, we did this with live fire, okay, under extreme controlled conditions, but to show that the defense works. So again, George would present a weapon against me from here, okay? Now again, for practice purposes, we're not going to have the finger in the trigger well because it will break. The defense is designed to break the finger. I am concerned not just about me, I'm concerned about anybody with me as well. For the moment, I'm alone. Again, so facing him, my hands are down. I create a non-silhouette profile. In other words, my hands are not out here. If he tells me my hands come up, I may comply, I may react. It just depends. The ideal moment to react when somebody has a firearm trained on you is when they are speaking. He or she is speaking. Okay? The mind has difficulty processing 2 things at once, especially mine, as you know. And we'll do it from there. All right? So George would present a weapon on me from here. Okay? Don't shoot me like this.
Give me your money.
Again, don't shoot me. Okay?
I said, give me your money.
I need to see the entire frame of him, not just the weapon. I'm not just looking at the weapon because my eyes will belie what I'm going to do. So again, he's saying something from here.
Give me your money.
Okay? I waited till the right moment, at least what I perceive to be the right moment. The firearm is presented. Okay? I'm aiming for the trigger well because it could be a short-barreled weapon. It could be whatever it is, it is. Okay? You have to assume the weapon is functional. It's going to go off. I am using a body defense and I'm punching the weapon out. I am not slapping it, okay? I'm punching it from here. And my weight comes in and I attack. I am deep on him. The proper way to do this is going deep. A lot of people don't teach it correctly. Again, we understand that if I hit him, he's likely to fall down. If he goes down, go down, George. Here. I still have the weapon under control, okay? From here. And out. All right? If you make the mistake of going here, which is incorrect. From here, I hit him, he falls down, the weapon is once again trained on me. It's designed for him. All right, so we need to go in stages and we need to understand this. Now, understand something else. When okay, let go, George. Get the weapon, I'm going to interfere with this slide. Okay, the slide. You see what's happening here. The spent cartridge shell case is not going to go out, which means that the weapon is out of battery. I can't count on it being out of battery, but if it goes off, it's not going to cycle properly. All right, which means that I have to, if I'm going to use the weapon again, clear it. Okay, we have a specific method of doing it. I'm not worried about showing that on camera, all right? But we have a specific method of clearing it and making the gun functional or back in battery. So again, you don't just take the weapon away like this, okay, and then train it back on the assailant, because it may not work and he may know it and rush you. We can use this as a cold weapon, which we demonstrated earlier. Okay, it can be used, in other words, as a just as part of my body, cold weapon. Boom, boom, from here, okay? I can come to the side, whatever you're going to do, all right? It's just an extension of the body. But remember, it's a firearm. Please get up. And now you'll get on the ground, get on the ground. He's rushing at me like this, okay? Maybe this weapon works, maybe it doesn't. Don't be surprised if it doesn't work. He knows it's his weapon. I don't know what the weapon is. I've done my best to put it back in battery. If I pull the trigger, maybe it'll go off, maybe it won't. But you need to be prepared for an assailant coming at you full bore, trying to bash your head in now. Okay, again, the body is defending and I'm blading away, okay, from here. Okay, again, to the side and counterattacking him. The takeaway is from here. I never put my body or my hand in front of the weapon. From here, again, Jim's just going to put his finger in the trigger well to show you what would happen. Again, we do not do this in practice. You'll break the finger. 1, okay, again, break the finger. 2, and 3. I'm doing that because the finger is going to get mangled. I'm probably going to break the finger. Again, it's designed this way.
What's the idea of this exercise?
Okay, we're introducing gun defenses from the front. Again, this is a beginner class. We're doing it for 2 reasons. 1, we want them to see it, and 2, we'd like to show you that this can be learned very, very quickly in a short time. The idea, of course, is that we can train anybody to do this. Optimally, in a perfect world, we'd have several days to make it perfect, but we don't say that if you go out, you may not have a gun put to you. Again, I emphasized in the beginning that if you can comply, you can give them the wallet, give them the keys. It is not worth risking your life over property. But if you feel they're going to take you to a secondary crime scene, in other words, another place where you feel that they're just going to shoot you at some point, because some statistics bear that out, you'll react. But you've got to react on your terms, not his. So that's what we're working on here. You'll see different kinds of grips, different kinds of reactions, but the idea, again, is simultaneous defense and attack. At all times, we control the weapon, we direct it away from us, and we counterattack with combatives to the attacker's head to disrupt his thought pattern and his process, because remember, that firearm is designed for him to hold, not for you. We've done this with live rounds. My good friend Nir Maman in Japan with the military, with the Marine Corps, to show that the defense works and that your hand will not get hurt. And that had its own place in the teaching. So again, this defense has been used. In fact, we have a student who came to us, and he was in Mexico with 3 of his colleagues. He was robbed at gunpoint, and he took the correct timing in the moment, and he disarmed the attacker, beat him fairly senseless, removed the weapon, and all 3 of them avoided a robbery situation. He wrote to me that very night. It'll be in the introduction to the 3rd book that we're going to write and put out. But he was a hero to himself and to others, because who knows what would have happened with the robbery. Again, he could have complied. He deemed it necessary to act. So this defense has been proven time and time again. It's for a real situation, and that's, of course, why we teach it.
What is the origin of Maga?
The origin of this particular defense, as history would suggest, is that the founder, Emil Lichtenfeld, one of his childhood friends pulled a weapon on him. It happened to be his father's, who was a detective, and Emil instinctively deflected the gun away. After he realized that deflection is a natural instinct, he refined the movements to actually allow the takeaway. So again, the idea that this is different than any other kind of martial art because it's developed with modern firearms in mind. It's defensive tactics, again, pistols. What I've always found very interesting about Krav Maga is it took Emil's genius and Chaim's continued modifications, improvements to create this, because pistols have existed for hundreds of years now, and yet only in the last 70 years has this defense really been developed and refined, and it's the best defense in the world, obviously, in our opinion.
Why Israeli Krav Maga?
Because it comes from Israel. There's a lot of Krav Maga out there that has been nationalized, let's say. It comes from the host country. We're part of the Israeli Krav Maga Association. That is the governing body in Israel. It's the oldest association. Krav Maga founder Emi Lichtenfeld's original organization, run by now Grandmaster Chaim Gidan. So we want people to understand this is the original teaching in its most modern form, and it comes from Israel.